Something else I might mention, you'll see at the ends of the boards, it's going to be very difficult to char those because of the way the patterns and it's end grain, so it's really pressed tight in that area. So it's going to be very difficult to burn those. If you try to continue to burn the end, you'll just burn the top up even more, and then you'll lose the pattern that you're trying to achieve. So yeah, the ends are going to be very difficult to finish burning. Wow, if you look at this section of the video, I'm burning the back of the boards now. And you see that sap coming out of that pine? Man, that stuff is really kicking up some heat right there. I don't usually like to let it burn out that much, but I do want to get some of that sap off those boards. So there's one on the left, far down here on the left end. You'll see it's got sap in it still. But we're going to put that fire out before it burns the boards up. I'm not very pleased with this first one at all. So let's try what we got here. Sun bleached. Let me get a paper towel. I got to put my gloves back on, but I'll get them in just a minute. Now I'm gonna let this set just a little bit longer. Well guys, just a little additional feature to the video. I was so impressed with that blue stuff that I just had to go get a piece of cedar, and I did a little different technique on this. You see that cedar? I took a torch, a regular cutting torch, oxyacetylene rig, and I burned this one a little bit deeper. And then I went ahead and I brushed it out with a wire brush, just a regular wire brush by hand. And I want to put some red on this piece of cedar before we continue with the rest of the video to see if it makes any difference at all on cedar. Now I know we can't compare what we already have to this chunk of cedar at all, but I just had to try this. As you can see, this oil-based paint really doesn't get down in that wood as easily. We're not going to let this dry very long at all. We're going to start rubbing it off. Another clean piece of paper towel. Red paint. So my thoughts are that the actual stains will not do as good as a Rust-Oleum oil-based paint. But that's left untold. Let's let this dry, then we'll be right back. We'll start sanding them, and we'll see what we have. Okay, we made it back. Now we've let these things dry for a couple of hours. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready to go, but we're going to push the video forward and see if we can get anything out of them. I'm going to probably make another video similar to this, but it's going to be of nothing but the paint instead of the stains. I really like to think that I'm going to really like the way the paint's going to come out, not the stains. But let's start sanding a few of these. Let me get a couple of these out of the way. We'll start with the very first one we did, which was the ugly board. Didn't look pretty at all to me. Got us an old DA sander with 220 grit sandpaper on it. Well, here's what we got. Let me get a brush and brush it off. That'll let me know if I've pushed it too much for the dryness. But actually it is pretty dry. Not very impressive. And we won't know any more until we actually push it out a little bit this way. This was the blue one. Let's see what happens here. A little more impressive. I guess it depends on the person doing the job, what they're looking for. But just to give you a rough idea, here's what the blue looks like. Not bad. I think that you're going to see a whole lot of difference once we actually get the polyurethane on it. Here's number two. Here's the other one. You can see the gray one. Clean that up with a wire brush. Now, I'm pretty impressed with the crosshatches in there from using the drill with the wire brush on the end of a drill. That is pretty. Not bad. You can kind of see a little. That was the aqua. Very last board. And this was a cedar that I had to experiment with. I just didn't like any of the other boards that I saw there really. And this one here, I think is going to be the winner on the cedar. Let's sand it down, clean it up, and see what happens. But let me mention something also. That this board here I burned with a oxyacetylene torch. And I had direct flame running up and down this board to where actually the heat impregnated in between the grains in the board a lot better than the blowtorch. The big blowtorch just kind of glanced off and pushed the heat over it, so it didn't burn into the board. So I'm thinking that that torch setup versus the blowtorch setup is going to be a whole lot better. Wow, that's pretty tough. Back, cut me some slabs with those sawmill, and I'm gonna continue to mess with the white pine and the cedar. Concentrate more on the cedar. I just really like that cedar. Now let's go in there and put some polyurethane on the cedar. Now then, I'm gonna open this some stuff up. Find this old brush here. We're going to do this half of the board. I'm not going to get crazy on the sides of it. We're going to let that dry. You can see a drastic difference right there. Well, that's finished putting the polyurethane on the ends of these. That really made a huge difference. It really brought out the darker grains in that wood. That one. That one really started popping. You can kind of see a little bit of bluish tint coming out of that one. The polyurethane really actually brings out colors that we're trying to apply to the wood itself. That is day and night difference. There's a huge difference between those two. See how the clarity of the base grain and then the tint we put on top of it, it actually brings it out, just kind of throws it out there to you. That's really nice. All three of them do pretty much the same thing. The tint versus solid same without the polyurethane. The polyurethane really changes it drastically. So let's let this dry for a few minutes. I'm gonna set it out in the sun, then we'll be back. I'll take the tape off and we'll show it to you. Well guys, the video we shoot today is just basically, I guess, an experiment. We wanted to see what happens when you do the Shou Sugi Ban type of Japanese wood burning. Now we put out a video, it's probably been 2-3 years ago, on the same technique, and we're going to put another one out after this one, but we're going to be going into using more paints than stains. I don't think the stains work as well as paints. If you're really looking for a bright lustrous color like red, blue, yellow, orange, or purple or something like that, yeah, we do have some old paint that we can put on some of that wood. We're going to try some more with cedar. We're going to try some more with pine boards, and we may try some with mesquite. However, most of the stuff we have in abundance is this cedar. As you see back here, we've got our own sawmill, so we cut our own wood. We're going to come back in a few minutes once that polyurethane dries on top of those slices and slabs that we just cut up, and finish with the stains and the paint and see how they actually turn out. We'll do a comparison test on them. Stick around, we're almost done. Well guys, it has actually been several hours, and as you can see, this stuff is dried pretty good at this point. And I just wanted to show you the final results of what this stuff looks like. Look at the drastic difference in the shade on that cedar. That stuff is just really popping. Every one of them changed drastically with polyurethane on top of them. And I'm just really astonished with the cedar. Let me see if I can take it out in the sunlight. Just day and night difference on that one. Even this one here turned out really pretty nice. I wouldn't have thought that at the beginning, but just looking at it, and that's the one that we used the drill on, had the cross hatches in it, so that one's actually pretty nice. I believe this was the rose one. Isn't it amazing what that polyurethane does? It just brings out everything in the wood. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a few more out, but we're going to be using mostly paints. I've already got some pine wood ready to go, and I'm going to cut a couple of slabs off the sawmill. It's not, you know, still wet. It has to be pretty dry for me to work on it. And then we're going to burn it with a torch instead of the flamethrower. I think the torch effect worked way better than that big flamethrower, being that you could concentrate the fire more on the wood. Well anyhow, hope this video helped you. Hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up if you will. We need all the help we can get out here on YouTube. Stick around, we'll be putting out a video every week, or sometimes 2 a week, on different things. Solar panels, sawmilling, to playing with stains and paints. And our other channel is Simply Videos. We do cooking videos there, passing on some of our secrets from the cooking world. We used to do competition cooking. But enough with the jibber jabber, folks. Hit the like, subscribe. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.